Hello BeeBusinessBee fans, and welcome to another BeeBusinessBee vlog. Now I've decided that over the next few vlogs I want to look at the topic which maybe sometimes we don't really look at too much in business, but it's really important. That's consumer protection. In other words, your rights as a customer when you go shopping. We all go out and about, we all buy products, but what rights do we actually have as customers? I want to look at that. Now, me personally, obviously I've got a business degree. In my business degree I specialised in many areas of law. It's one of those areas that I really find interesting, and I do talk to lots of my friends who are lawyers, for example, and I try and tap knowledge from them. Firstly, before I start, these videos are not legal guidance. You need to obviously seek professional advice if you're going to pursue it. Don't want you quoting BeeBusinessBee in court and then obviously finding that maybe, you know, it hasn't stood up or it hasn't won you the case. What I'm going to cover is the basis of law. Each case is separate and you need to obviously weigh up the pros and cons of each one. However, let's start by looking at something we all see. Now, how many times have you been in a shop and you see something like that there, where you see your consumer rights and it says things like, this does not affect your statutory rights, or this does not affect your legal rights? How many of you actually know your basic consumer rights? Your statutory rights or your legal rights are the very minimum that you're entitled to. Now, if you buy a product from a retailer, you may find that the customer assistants know the company policy when it comes to returns, but they don't know their statutory rights so well. So you might find, for example, the company policy is that if a product breaks within a year, they replace it. Well, you may find that actually using statutory rights, you get longer than a year on that product. So that's why it's really important to know your statutory or your legal rights. It's so important to know them. It's why I've created a video for you, which you can see down below here. Now, if you find that on my YouTube channel, you can watch it all the way through. But that video was done to show you the Consumer Rights Act. The Consumer Rights Act in 2015, which was created, sets out what rights you're entitled to under statutory law as a customer. I suggest that you actually spend some time learning them. If you actually learn your rights, you can use them effectively when it comes to any potential dispute. The most important thing to remember is that any product has to be of satisfactory quality, right? So that's what an independent person would say. Is it satisfactory? Now that comes down partly to the price you pay. So if you're buying a car, for example, of a high value purchase, satisfactory quality might mean that it's got 5 or 7 years lifespan, depending on, again, on what argument you want to take. The manufacturer might say it's only got 3 years lifespan, and that's their interpretation of their warranty. However, if you were to use your consumer rights, you may find that you've got a case that goes longer than that. Again, that's something you'd have to look into. Just like at Poundland, for example, you can take, or other shops, shall I say, you can take that product back if it breaks within a year. However, let's be realistic, satisfactory quality, if it lasts for a year, that's probably deemed to be reasonable use. Again, satisfactory, the word reasonable applies quite a lot. So satisfactory quality, is it reasonable? Is it fit for purpose? There's another legal term that appears quite a lot. So again, does the item do what it should do? So if I buy a kettle, for example, does it actually boil the water? If it gets warm but it doesn't boil the water, then it's deemed not fit for purpose, and as a result of that I have a case under my statutory rights. Again though, it's how long should it last for, and that partly comes down to the price paid and the expectation the customer's got. Some items tend to have a longer life when it comes to your statutory rights compared to other items. Typically white goods, for example, so fridges, freezers, washers, will have a much longer statutory life according to the law compared to something that you might buy in a smaller, cheaper shop. But that is the basis of law. All I tried to do in this initial opening video is just explain to you the importance of understanding your law and understanding the different rights that you've got. Over the next series of videos, I'm going to go into more detail. I'm going to talk about some examples, some different case studies. I'm going to share with you some of the examples that even I've taken on before and the battles that I've won by using the law to my advantage. But it's really, really important that you actually understand your statutory rights. I don't want anybody who watches the BeeBusinessBee channel to go away not understanding their statutory rights. So when a retailer tells them it's not their company policy, I want you to go away knowing that that's not the law. Company policy is their policy. Statutory rights is what's important to you. And if you quote your statutory rights, you tend to find that retailers will tend to back down. They will honour their rights. Very few retailers don't honour statutory rights, and if they don't do that, well, then you go all the way to the small claims court. I'll even produce a video on that for you as well. So hopefully you're going to enjoy this series I'm going to produce for you. Make sure that you follow me on the YouTube channel and on my social media accounts, my Twitter, my Facebook and my Instagram. And remember, until next time, keep buzzing.